Hi, Swing is here. One more LeetCode game video has been came on the channel, and in today's video we are solving our question number 542 by the name of 01 matrix, and this is a medium one question which we are solving in today's video. So please hit that like button, share and subscribe, and don't forget to all the notification bell also so you never miss our any latest video on this channel. So without taking any time, without wasting any long time, let's move to the computer screen and let's try to solve our question number 542 by the name of 01 matrix. So let's move to the computer screen and let's do our coding with laughing game. So guys, let's start with today's video in which I am telling you about 542 question by the name of 01 matrix which we are solving. So let's start without wasting any time and let's start now. First of all, we understand the question, what is the question is trying to say us, then we'll be start to solve it. Okay. Now let's understand the question, what is the question is trying to say. Now it has been given me an m, x and binary matrix mat, and what we want to do with it, we want to do the distance of the nearest zero, okay, for each cell. Now the distance between two cells sharing a common edge is 1. Now it has been given me some examples. Okay, it has been given me two examples. So let's look forward on these two examples. So first of all, it has been given me in both examples, it has been given me a diagram also. So you can also see the diagram here. Here is the diagram. Here you can see it. Sorry, let me remove it. Okay. Okay. Now here it has been given me one diagram also. If you see, here you can see it. Here is one diagram. If you see here. Okay, so if you see this diagram here, in the first line here he wrote it down 3 zeros, and if you see the second line in which he wrote it down 0, 1 and 0, and if you watch the third line here, in that line here it is also be written 3 0. Okay, now let me make a one shape on it, okay, to identify where it has been make it. So it is one diagram. So let me show you. Here he writing 0. Okay. So let me no fill with it, and let me give him the red outline with the highest weight. Okay. In the first line here he wrote in down 0 and 0 and 0. Okay, and here it has been also be in the second line here he wrote in down 0 and 0 and 0. But if we watch the second line, in the second line, in the middle of the second line, here he wrote in down 1. If you see here, okay, here he wrote in down 1. So what is the why it has been written down 1? Let me show you. Okay, here he wrote in down 1 because if I told you here, if you see the input in which he wrote in down here he gave one mx binary matrix by the name of math, in which he wrote in down 0 0 0, means in our first line there is only the 0 0 0. Okay, so let me give him the black color. Okay, by the way, so let me give him the black color. Okay, in the first line here he wrote in down 0 0 0. In the second line here he wrote in down 0 1 0, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, 0 1 0 here he wrote in down, and in the third line there is also 0 0 0. So in the input it has been also be written down 0 0 0, and the output has been coming 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0. If you see here. Okay. So in the second example, if you see the second example is same as here, but in the second example is a little bit different, okay, because in that example if I show you, first of all let me copy the circle. Okay, so let's copy the circle and let's paste the circle and let's come down. Okay, and now here he wrote in down 0, here it also be written down 0. Okay, and then here he wrote in also down 0, and here is also a 0, and here is also a 0. But in the middle of the second line there is a 1. Okay, if you see here there is a 1. So let's give him the yellow outline, okay, because it is a 1. And if you see the third line, in the third line there is all 1s. Okay, in this all three boxes there is only 1. There is not any 0 in the third line you see here. So in the binary mx and binary tree, here he created by the name of math, in which he wrote in down 0 0 0 if you see as a diagram, and in the second line here he wrote in the 0 1 0. Okay, and in the diagram there is also a 1 in the middle of the second line. And if you see the third line, there is he written then 111, and in the diagram there is also a 111. Okay. Now let's come down. Now the output will become 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 1 2 1. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, so now let's come on it here, and then let's come down, let's come down, let's come down. Now here it has been giving me some little bit constraints, if you see here, in which it written down m. Okay, so let's come down. Now m equals to mat dot length, n equals to mat square bracket I dot length. Okay, it has been giving me some 7 constraints also, which you can see to and help, and then it will be help you to solve the question. Okay, and now let's come up. So let's solve this question in the LeetCode camp website. So let's open the website of the LeetCode camp. Okay, then there's a medium one question which we are solving, and in this question there is a little bit topics has been included: array, dynamic programming, breadth first search, and matrix. And we can also you can say BFS, the short form to the breadth first search. Okay, so let's try to solve this question, and we are solving this question in the Python 3, by the way. So let's start. So first of all, we define a class of a solution, because the rule of a LeetCode camp, whenever you start to solve any question, so first of all you define a class of a solution, then define a def keyword, then define update matrix, in which you define self comma mat dot mat semicolon, and then list equals to list int. Okay, because I am writing list equals to square bracket list equals square bracket int, because in the list we created one list, and in that list there is a integer item. There's a integers. If you see here, you can see it. There are integers. Here you can say 0, comma 0, comma 0. These are the integers, so that's why we wrote down integers. Then minus greater than list equals to int. We created a two list into the list. Okay, so that's why here I am writing 2 times here. Okay, so now define here row call comma col, and these will be in capital. Then we found the length of our mat, comma, then length mat square bracket 0, and take q equals to square bracket direction equals to 0 comma plus 1 comma 0 comma minus 1 comma 1 comma 0 comma minus 1 comma 0. Perfect. Now when we do this, so now in the next line here we define a for loop, in which I define I in range, and in the range we write row. Okay, row variable, our row variable. Okay, now divide one more for loop. So we are defining a nested loop, if you see here, because we are defining loop inside a loop, so it is called nested loop. Okay, so for j in range, and in which I am defining call, okay, semicolon enter. So here I define if statement. Okay, in the if statement I define mat, I, and then j. Okay, then equals to 0, then semicolon, then q dot append. So like you all the people know what is the meaning of append. It joins two things together. Okay, I have told you in many videos. Okay, if you see, if you are following all the questions, so define a else statement, in which I define mat j square bracket, sorry, semicolon, then we define a sign of a star. Okay, so now define one more time. Here we define a for loop r comma c in q for dr. One more time in the loop, inside a loop we define one more loop, dc in direction, and then enter press. So now we define here row equals to r plus dr. Okay, so give the space here. Okay, and then define col equals to c plus dc if 0 less than equals to row, and then semicolon, then define a, please the arcs will be in capital. Okay, this arcs will be not capital, which I do, but this arcs will be in capital, this row. Okay, and keyword, define here and keyword 0 less than equals to col less than col and then empty row, and then when we define col equals to star semicolon enter. Empty row, then define here col and then equals to empty r, then c, empty, then c, then plus 1. Define q one more time, and then we define append method, okay, in which we define row call. Means here we are appending q with row, and call means we are merging it. So now then in the last we return my output by the name of return. Okay. So now when we do this all the things, so please re-revise the code. Okay, once you write all the code, so please revise it. Okay, do not press run button directly. Okay, please revise it. Okay, see there's not any mistake in the code. Okay, so now I see that. So now let's see the running code. So now when I run this code, okay, so now it has been giving me an error in the second line. Okay, in the second line it has been giving me an error. Okay, what type of error it has been given me? Let me say 1, 0. Okay, the case 1 has been perfect, but the case 2 it has been giving me an error. So let's see in the case 2 what is type of error it has been given me. Okay, so in this directions there is an error. Okay, in this directions code. So let's see what is the error in this directions code. Okay, because in this direction code I write my all the numbers like -1. If you see here -1, then minus, plus. Okay, that's why. Let's see direction. -1, 0, comma, +1, then comma, then 0, -1, then comma, then 1, comma, 0. Okay, and then here we write 1, -1, comma, 0. Okay, directions q length +1, 0, comma, -1, 1, comma, 0, -1, comma, 0, and -1, comma, 0. And then we write here row call, and then here we define empty ij. Okay, okay, I understand. Let's write here minus, no, plus. Let's come on it here. Okay, see, let's revise it. Okay, so I do not press a submit button, I press a run button, so it is perfect. Okay, now, okay, 0. Define here one comment, nested loop means loop inside a loop. So then return here math, and then define here, I think you want to define here row equals to 1. Okay, and when you define this row equals to 1, so let's see one thing. Okay, row equals to 1 here we define. Now let's revise the code one more time. Okay, okay, backspace, backspace, backspace. Please do not unnecessary space. Okay, please do not leave the unnecessary space. Okay, fill it. Okay, now let's run this now. So I hope now it not give me an error. So now when I run it, so now it has been accepted. The case for our expected output is this. Let me show you: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, and also output coming same. In the case to the expected output is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 2, 1, and our also output is going to same. So let's see the submission code. Okay, so now when I submit this code, the submission code is also be perfect, and I beat 84.84% people. So I hope you enjoyed today's video in which we solve this question. Solve beats, here we write 84.85%, right? Easy question solved in Python 3. For more information, visit tab. So I hope you enjoyed today's video in which we solved question number 542 by the name of 01 matrix. So if you enjoyed today's video, so please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and all the notification bell also, so you never miss these type of videos on this channel. So now let's meet you in the next class and next very amazing class like that type of videos on this channel. So now for today. Goodbye.